Hello, and welcome to the Words from Our Community video series as part of the Asian Week Database Project. I'm your host, Wynn Stanton. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Peter Swing. Welcome, Peter.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us about your relationship with Asian Week.
I went to undergrad at UC Berkeley, and one of the reasons why I think I chose to go to UC Berkeley was I read A Different Mirror, which is a book written by the late great historian Ronald Takaki. And so, went to Cal. I think this was in 2003, after my service in the Marine Corps. And I took Ron's classes in ethnic studies. I, later, conducted my senior honors thesis under the tutelage of Ron Takaki. Didn't figure out quite what to do after undergraduate studies. I knew I was committed to the ethnic studies movement, multicultural studies and diversity. And so I asked Ron, for some guidance. And he thought I should begin writing, right? And so, he introduced me to Ted Fang from Asian Week, who was also one of his, proteges. Ron presented my senior thesis to Teddy, and it was about the first conscientious objector, Lieutenant Aaron Watada, who was a Asian American officer in the Army. And so he was the first to refuse orders to Iraq. And that's where I think my itch for investigative journalism began, or just historical studies and research and writing more specifically. And, Ron shared my thesis with Teddy, and Teddy thought it was an absolute critical part to the Asian American community. And he wanted it published in Asian Week.
Peter, could you elaborate on your title?
My current, job is the president of Berkeley Academy for Multicultural Studies here in Costa Rica. I am the co-founder of the school. And so, we established a private K through 12 school in Costa Rica in 2013.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Wow, that's a good story. I love that. I love that backstory. And speaking of stories, what are some memorable moments or stories you have from Asian Week?
My title at Asian Week was the executive assistant to the editor and publisher, which was being around Ted, as well as James, his older brother at the time. And so, just being around the Fang family, they are incredibly driven. They are incredibly passionate about the community. There's a zero-sum game for Ted when it comes to the Asian American community. And that's something that he instilled in me. It almost felt like a militant, demeanor. And I think if I look back upon what Ted was trying to accomplish, we had the Asian Week Foundation, which also was supporting the Het Beef Free campaign in its initial phases. So I was, I think one of his first, Asian Week Foundation Het Beef Free campaign, people, to support the project. And I think if I could take any experience, it was the community organizing. He garnered not only the support from the public officials and local politicians at the time, but he went big, and we went to DC to knock on the doors of Nancy Pelosi, and got that support as well. The key word that I see today is public-private partnerships, and at times it was incredibly difficult. Producing the Asian Heritage street celebration on his own with just a few people. There's no better blueprint you can have for community organizing. And, those are, some of my fondest memories, toughest memories. I mean, there was long hours invested, travel, low pay and wages, but all at the same time, just understanding that we are doing this for our community. And that is one thing that I can definitely take from my Asian Week experience.
Thank you for joining the Words from Our Community video series as part of the Asian Week Database Project. Have a great day.